All right, this thing that I'm about to talk about, this happens to me all the time. So this is purely my experience, but I know it happens to other people. I'm out doing something else, maybe taking the dogs for a walk or something, and I have this wonderful idea. So by the time I've gotten home, the idea for this story is fully formed in my head. But when I go to sit down and write it, it's not quite the same. It's never as good as what's in my head. And it is so frustrating. I knew exactly what I was trying to say. I could see the scene, I could feel the emotion, I could hear the dialogue. It all felt vivid and powerful in my head. But then when I went to put it on the page, it somehow comes out looking flat or clunky or really disappointing. Now, if you've ever experienced that, you're in really good company. We all do it. In fact, I think it's one of the most universal writing frustrations that there is. Part of the reason that this happens is because our brains are filling in gaps that the reader can't see. So these are gaps like the backstory, the emotion, the context, the characters' intentions, or the atmosphere. So when you read your own work, your brain quietly supplies that information that isn't actually on the page. The reader doesn't have any access to any of that. They only have the words. And so when somebody asks you a question and you think, oh, that's in the story already, it might not actually be because it's up in your head. Now, the imagination also has no technical limitations like the page does. The imagination can create this perfect scene instantly. Writing requires you to translate that scene into language, structure, pacing, dialogue, detail, all the bits. And that's a skill. And like any skill, it's something that develops over time. So I'm going to give you three practical ways to help you start to close the gap between the story in your head and the words on the page. And these are before, during, and after activities. So before you write, don't think about what happens. Think about what the reader needs to experience. Before you start writing the scene, write down one sentence. At the end of this scene, I want the reader to feel whatever. Maybe it's tension. Maybe you want the reader to feel sad, a sense of hope, curiosity, relief, or maybe discomfort. Whatever it is, that gives your writing a target and it tells your brain these are the gaps you need to fill on the page. Second activity, during your writing. Stop occasionally and ask, would a stranger understand what's happening here? You need to remove yourself from the story. So this isn't you. You get it because it's in your head. This is a stranger. So remember that the reader can't see the movie that's playing in your head. They only have the information you've actually put on the page. Asking yourself this question can reveal missing context, unclear motivations, or emotional leaps that make perfect sense to you, but not to the reader. So you have to separate yourself. Then after writing, put your work aside for at least a day, then come back and read it with a coloured pen. Every time the writing creates a feeling, an image, or a reaction that you wanted, put a tick beside it. Every time it doesn't, put a question mark, not a cross. That's what revision is. That's what redrafting is. We're not fixing terrible writing. You're improving the translation from your imagination onto the page.